What is up, everybody? Hope everybody's having a good New Year so far. Hope everybody had a great Sunday. I want to start off before we get into it by saying please support me in my podcast. Please also support me in this by following, subscribing. It means a whole lot. This is a way that I'm trying to get the truth out because I am heavily censored on social media for exposing so much evil. I am trying to expose evil and inform people of the truth while gaming so that I can help get the word out easier because of how big of a target I am. So please, if you could scan the QR codes and help a brother out, that'd be much appreciated. So let's see. Test. Test. Okay. See, that's way too loud. Audio. We're gonna bring that down to 65. Oh. Okay. Let's see here. Do I have everything connected? I'll set everything like that. Just lower this down. Okay, there we go. Perfect. I want to make sure y'all can hear me. It's okay, guys. So, nightly I'm going to be talking about a lot of the same things because I may or may not be getting different viewers on here. But this is all to plant the seed in order to in order for y'all to take yourselves. What am I doing? I have not played this game in such a long time. This is all to help plant the seed so that y'all can go to my podcast and find more details about the truth, okay? Let's see here. I don't need Twitch. I need the Kick Chat. Perfect. All right. So, I gotta make sure it's not. I'm sorry, guys. Just give me a second. Okay. Good. I got it down now. Okay, so we're going to get into some hot and heavy stuff. Especially when it comes to human trafficking. Okay? So, what is the number one reason why kids are trafficked and there's human trafficking, but especially when it comes to kids? Well, it's poor parenting at the end of the day. That might push a lot of you away. But reason with me on this. In our society, we have pushed for a 2-income household with both the husband and the wife working. Okay? On top of that, we have so many distractions in this country that our money is going toward things and not taking the time to actually raise our children. For those who send their kids to public school and private school, okay, regardless of the reason, the school is raising your children. You may not like that, but that is the honest to God truth. That's where they are getting the most influence. We have fathers that do not want to be around, and if they are around, most of them are lazy. And we have mothers who don't want to nurture. We have mothers who want to get their own money because many of them can't trust the guy because of the history that men have when it comes to women and controlling them. Okay? The Bible specifically states that husbands are to love their wives as Christ loved the church. Wives are called to submit to the husband. Okay? We have a huge problem with that. My wife and I don't have kids. And to some of you, that may be like, then why are you talking about kids? My wife and I could have kids. But the reason why is because there's a lot of things going on in our country, and we don't want to put our children through that. So, with that being said, we are trying to play it smart. And a lot of people say, well, God will provide, or this and that will happen. We say that far too often, and we don't put the responsibility on ourselves. And that's the issue. Christianity is more about self than it is about Christ. But when you read the scriptures, there's things in scripture that are not taught in the pulpit. Because it's all about making sure that the money is put in the plate and that people can go home with their conscience cleared. And that is simply not the truth. Okay? Simply not the truth. Okay? And I hate to say that, but the instance is truth, but what is being preached isn't. So, basically, you have it to where we are dumbed down, and the truth is watered down. Many of us are, I was homeschooled growing up, but many people are sent to public schools their whole lives, or private schools. They know what they've been taught, but they've actually done very little research on the outside. They do not know how to think for themselves. And that is an issue. That is a huge issue in our country. We have stopped learning how to think for ourselves, and we've chosen to have other people do the thinking for us. When I was in the military, there were NCOs, which were sergeants and above. You know, anybody that was a sergeant, staff sergeant, sergeant first class, master sergeant, stuff like that. And do you know what they had? Do you know what a sergeant first class told me? He said, look here. He said, I love being in the military because it has allowed me not to think for myself. I don't have to think for myself because the military does the thinking for me. Really think about that. These are people in our military. Prime example. When you go and look at Hurricane Katrina, the military went through and confiscated everybody's weapons. That was unconstitutional. Yet all throughout the military bases and all throughout these different facilities and motor pools and buildings that they have posters that say, I will not obey an unlawful order. But that is unlawful. We have stopped thinking for ourselves, and we think, because someone has a degree in something that they are more educated, when that is simply most of the time the opposite. I don't look at people with degrees as any better. I actually look at them as more indoctrinated. And despite if you have a degree, good for you. But most likely you are indoctrinated. While someone like me actually happened to do research myself instead of being told what my research was limited to. Okay? Ignorance is bliss. And we think that just because we are unaware of something that we don't hold responsibility, we don't have the responsibility to learn truth. No, we do. We do. We do. So when I started my podcast in 2022, one of the things I talked about was human trafficking. And many people called me crazy, said that it didn't exist. Oh my goodness. Many people called me crazy, said it didn't exist, said I was overreacting, over-exaggerating, until Sound of Freedom came out. I did my episode on the government's prey, child trafficking, and satanic rituals conducted by the U.S. government just a few months after I got out of the military. I say all that because I want you to understand how deep this goes. This goes deep, guys. Okay? I was talking to people who did not want to learn or who knew that if they learned the truth about something, that it would bother their conscience and it would force them to have to make a lifestyle change. So, I'm just saying, guys, like, this stuff is, if you want to know the truth, then I can help you out. If you don't want to know the truth, then you don't want to be here. Because I am a truth seeker. So, when it comes to scriptural things, I strive to be biblical. And I'm willing to reason with anybody about scripture and learn. And that's what it is. I don't know everything. But for the most part, I can discern pretty well on what is truth and what is not. Okay? In America, we are so distracted with Republican and Democrat primarily. You got some libertarians, but primarily Republican and Democrat, that we don't realize that for the most part, Democrats, they are outwardly trying and have said they want to destroy America. Like they want to. They're blunt about it. And then you got the Republicans that go against the Democrats to try to get the vote, but yet they're very deceiving. And they don't do anything about anything. Because they all work for the same countries. Look at Israel. Almost all of Congress is bought by them. I'm just saying. Look at the 1987 video on YouTube called Unholy Alliance by Ted Pike and his wife. This is under the Reagan administration, guys. Okay? Under the Reagan administration. Stuff is for real. The stuff is for real. And if we don't start waking up now, we will be we will literally be enslaved like you've never experienced. I don't say that to scare you. I say that to tell you the truth. We need more truth seekers. Freedom isn't free. It's not. It comes with sacrifice. It comes with hard work. It comes with determination. It comes with deprogramming what we've been taught. We need to really get ourselves together. We need to get ourselves together as soon as possible. But when you share my content and my podcast, you help spread that seed that I'm planting to help get people to wake up. I even have guests on my podcast. Okay? Sean Logan, I recently did a podcast episode with him. And we talked about the 5G towers. And I learned so much from him. We talked about zeolite. We talked about what's in our water, what's in our food. He gave me some information about how, with the COVID vaccines, and I kind of knew a little bit about it, but not this deep. There was nanotechnology in it. Okay? Not only that, there's something called it's called a something Mac, I think. It's basically the tracking device, in like our electronics and whatnot, and that's in people's bodies. Okay, so you got that tracking device in people's bodies now, and there's a guy that he talked to that owns a... Why is this vehicle going so slow? There's a guy okay, now it's going fast. Okay. There's a guy he talks about, and he owns a zeolite company. Anyway, there was this voluntary experiment that he planned, and he had all these volunteers, and it's a MAC address, that's what it's called. And they showed these people how they have the MAC address in their body, and I think he said within 60 to 90 days they were able to remove the MAC address from these people's bodies. Like, this stuff is for real, guys. Okay? This stuff is for real. Yet, so many people, they praise Big Pharma and think and praise them as if they're gods. They are not. They're uneducated people. Now, the question is, are they evil themselves? Many are not evil, but they partake in evil ignorantly. And the few that do stand up and try to expose the evil and the manipulation and the deceit from within the industry, they get silenced. So, with that being said, it's very important to understand that even though you or someone else may be ignorant to something that you are involved in. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this game ain't working out. I'm having trouble talking and playing this game. And I love that game, but I need to be able to play something else where I can concentrate more. How should I say this? We'll do... That game's always crashing on me. We'll do Red Dead. So, I say all that, guys, because just because you may not realize that you are partaking in something that is evil or contributing to something that is evil and you are unaware of it, that doesn't mean that you do not hold some type of responsibility. What you should do is find the truth out and start doing right in exposing the evil that is going on in whatever industry you're in. Okay? It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. What matters is you finding out the truth and defending the truth and exposing it. I respect transparency way more than someone who finds out the truth and says, well, I got to provide for my family, therefore I have to do this. Those who partake in evil will not make it. Will not make it. So when you send your kids to the hospital to get vaccinated, you are allowing them to practice pharmakeia on your children, which pharmakeia is the Greek word for sorcery. Sorcery, magic, or drugs. Stuff is serious. So, when you look at what's in the vaccines, very few people know about it. I preach this in the pulpit, and they shut me down for it. Which is why one of the reasons why I no longer preach at that congregation. See, what's in the vaccines are heavy metals, synthetics, baby debris from aborted babies, and poisons. Okay? That's what's in our vaccines. For the past several years, I have been saying vaccines contribute to autism. I know a guy from my home congregation in Las Vegas. He was fine his first few years. He went and got his vaccines, and a few weeks later, he wasn't feeling good. And guess what? They started noticing changes. Gonna find out their son had gotten autism. Now 1 in every 32 children are autistic because of all the vaccines. Our own government, Robert Kennedy Jr., Secretary of Health, he came out and said that after all of these years, and he's been, exposing the vaccines for many years, but and from what I understand, the reason why his voice is the way it is, all raspy and whatnot, is because of the vaccines. That's what did that to him. So guys, these vaccines are not for your health. They're about control. When you understand the that's dumb. When you understand the pharmaceutical industry, you will understand that everything is a fraud and a scam. What do I mean? If the if Big Pharma really did care about your health, then why are they pushing all of this stuff that has so many side effects and that kill off people every single year? Why is it that during the pandemic, they had all these people labeled as, they died because of COVID, when really it was because of other causes? Because they got thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars per patient. Whether they died, whether they were diagnosed with it, they got thousands of dollars for, diagnosing them with that. Okay? Or saying that they died because of it. It's a money maker. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry. Now, let me take it a step further. Remember when I said that poor parenting is the main contributor to kids being human trafficked? Well, check this out. When you listen to these predators, they pay attention to kids. And they pay attention, and some even try to talk to them. And the kids that they get as their prey are the ones that come from households that are not stable, that are broken. Okay? Because guess what? Either both parents are working, or they're distracted with stuff and not paying any attention to the child, so the child does whatever he or she wants, and guess what? Ends up becoming vulnerable. You know one of the ways that they trap them? Drugs. Drugs is part of sorcery. Just like alcohol and everything else is. See, let me make this very clear. Just because information is harder to find, that doesn't mean that it's fake. Doesn't mean that it's fake. If I ask any of you, if anybody's hearing me right now, what is the code language that they use for talking about boys and girls? Could you tell me the code language that is used for describing a boy and describing a girl? Do you understand what is being said? I'll tell you what the code is. Pizza means girls. You ever heard on some celebrities talk about, oh, we went over to this person's house and they had a fantastic pizza party? Okay? Pizzagate. Okay? You look at, when it comes to the boys, it's a hot dog party. This is code language for talking about boys and girls. You ever heard of the company Wayfair? This is another way that they traffic children. This furniture is selling for thousands of dollars. It has a name. The furniture has a name. Those are trafficked children. I've read different reports, but some say 450 to 800,000 children go missing in the U.S. every single year. Do you know that America has the most missing children out of all of the countries? I'm just saying, out of all of the countries, America has the most missing children yearly. Let me tell you something else. Christianity is about control, right? It's about making you feel good. Okay? Not truth about the scriptures, but Christianity. This facade. How many times have you heard, Bible says, be fruitful and multiply? That was said to Noah and his family, because there was only 8 souls that were saved after the flood. So God was telling them to get busy to populate the earth. 2, it also happened with Adam and Eve. Why? Because no one else was on the earth. Okay? But they were told, be fruitful and multiply. Get busy, guys. So, when you look at the big scheme of things, with knowing that, why is it that is pushed so much? Many denominations are controlled by the government or the different bureaucracies. There are many churches that have pastors that are actually part of the FBI or CIA. So with that being said, these people were bought out. Recently, 1,000 pastors went to Israel to be instructed on what to teach. So, you can look that up. I say all that because the more children that we produce and the less accountability there is, the more they are able to traffic your children. You don't think many of these religions under the umbrella of Christianity don't traffic children? You're insane. Catholics are some of the biggest ones. And if you're Catholic, I encourage you to look into your religion. Let me tell you something about me. I grew up going to what's called a Church of Christ. Okay? I love the name because it shows ownership. Okay? But I focus on the doctrine. The scriptures talk about prove all things, hold fast that which is good. Test the spirits. Okay? Hold fast to sound doctrine. Galatians 1:8. If we or even an angel from heaven preach any other gospel than what we've preached unto you, let him be accursed. Mormons, how did they start out? Joseph Smith. They say he was a prophet and he saw an angel and all this stuff. Brother was drunk. That's what they won't tell you. You know what? Similar story. Islam. How did they start? Muhammad. He got drunk. And what did he say? I saw an angel. Scriptures say that that Satan appears as an angel of light. It's called spiritual warfare. Do we have access to the spiritual realm? Absolutely. I believe it's in 1st or 2nd Samuel, if I remember correctly. You have Saul, I think it's Saul, go into the medium, someone who practiced sorcery. It said, raise up Samuel. Rose up, the medium said some words. Samuel rose up and said, why do you wake me? It was his spirit. It scared the medium and it scared Saul. What does that tell me? We have access to the spiritual realm, which is why the Lord says, do not partake in sorcery. Throughout the Old Testament, when you see the children of Israel sending their kids through the fire, that's sorcery. They not only did that, but they offered them to idols such as Molech. If you look up Molech and the Israelites, there's drawings of people banging drums and them sacrificing these animals and basically boiling them. Okay? Setting them on fire and boiling them. Okay? To offer it to a fake god, an idol. Okay? Why did that happen? Because they affiliated themselves with wives of other nations and they took after their practices. That's why the New Testament says bad company corrupts good morals. I want to surround myself with truth seekers. Do you know why? Because we are like-minded. Like-minded. Okay? When you look at, I believe it's Ephesians, Colossians, and I believe in 1 Corinthians as well. It talks about being of one mind. Let there be no divisions among you. Be of one mind. Okay? Too many times we say, oh, well, I'm just opinionated. When you really think about it, there are very few things that you can really have an opinion about. The rest, it's truth or lies. But people will use, oh, well, I'm just opinionated, to try to deflect from defending why they do what they do or why they believe what they believe. Like I said, I'm not saying you can't have an opinion. But when you say I am an opinionated person, there's an issue. You can ask me why I carry a certain gun, or why I like to have a certain farm animal over another, or what Bible translation or translations do I like to use, or what kind of game do I prefer to play, or what kind of headset brand do I like, or what kind of vehicle do I like to drive. I will tell you why, what I like, or what I prefer, and I will also tell you why I prefer that. And sometimes it's just like, for example, I drive a Ford truck. Why do I like Ford? Well, it's my first truck. And this truck that we have has been very reliable. That's my answer on why I prefer Ford, because I have a reliable truck, because I've had a good experience with them. The newer trucks are crap, but I have a 2016. I say all that to say this. There are certain things that can be preference. But the majority of things that we believe and stand for, it's either going to be truth or lies. It's either going to be truth or lies. So, what kind of person do you want to be? Do you want to be a truth seeker, or do you want to be a blind idiot? I'm just going to be blunt with you. Do you want to be a truth seeker, or do you want to be a blind idiot? I hope that whoever's listening, and I don't know how many people are listening, but I hope that you decide to become a truth seeker if you're not. And if you need help, I will gladly help you. Because we need more truth seekers. There's very few of us. Very few of us. Now, before we keep going, just in case anybody has come in that didn't hear my initial statements, please support my podcast. I've got the QR code on the bottom left. You got my gaming platforms on social media and all that in the middle. And then you can donate financially if you want us to help support my work. Okay? I'll be transparent with you. I'm really pushing for this to be out because I'm heavily censored. And I've been heavily censored ever since I started my podcast. Would the finances help? Absolutely. I'm hoping that the finances eventually come. But with or without the finances, I'm still going to defend my faith. I'm going to defend truth. And I'm going to defend the innocent. And I will continue to expose evil whether I get the funds or not. But it would be such a big help if you would support my work. Last month I basically took some time off because of all the holidays and whatnot. But this month I will soon be coming out with more episodes, and they will be uploaded soon. I'm trying a different approach, and that is through the streaming. I'm hoping that by playing the games I can attract more people, and that people will listen to what I have to say. Am I the best public speaker? Absolutely not. But there's a lot of things that I say that if you listen to what I say and look into them and look into my podcast, you will be able to find the truth and build upon the information I provide. And if you're really serious, I wouldn't mind having someone else who's also a truth seeker on my podcast, just like Sean Logan. We are all we have. And so many people, they play video games,
but they're so oblivious to the rest of the world. If I can help wake up people that are podcast listeners, but also people that are gamers, that's a vast vast amount of people that I can reach and impact, that I can help awaken. And that's really what it's all about, is helping, helping people wake up to this. This stuff is serious. We are literally handing over our kids to Satanists and to those who contribute to Satanism. We have not realized how important our children are, because Christianity teaches, be fruitful and multiply. These preachers, they don't push for accountability. They don't. They are complacent, they are bought out, they are watered down. Many of them are downright evil. But because they say stuff that sounds good, it makes people feel good, that's what they go with. There's not much difference between the average religious individual and the average and the American voter. Whatever sounds good and makes them feel good, that's what they'll go with. People want to reap the most benefit, but with the least amount of responsibility. And that's not how it works, folks. That's not how it works. That dog just doesn't hunt. The stuff I talk about goes deep. It does. It does. Talk about the NGO facade. I have an episode on that. These non-government, agencies. Okay? All these people fund these agencies. Many of them are about protecting children. But guess what? They promote that, but they're involved in it. Why has this happened? Because people think, I'm going to give to this organization without knowing much, and I'm going to feel like I did my part for the year. No, ma'am, and no, sir. Look at my episodes, guys. I'm telling you. Please go to Spotify or scan the QR code and search up the Christian Constitutionalist Podcast. I'm telling you, the things I push are things that very few people push. And if people do talk about it, it's usually watered down. I've heard them. We have a problem in America when it comes to men. We have too many males in our country and not enough men. You can be an 80-year-old male if you still have a boyish character, and if you still don't want to be responsible and be accountable and fight for those who can't fight for themselves, and provide for your family as you ought. No. This stuff goes deep. Am I perfect? Absolutely not. I've been the husband that hasn't led my home properly. But guess what? I have learned, I've grown, and I've not used my past as a crutch to continue my misbehavior. Yes, I grew up in a broken household for the latter part of the last few years. I believe from like 11 or 12 to 18, okay? I saw a lot of things growing up, even before the household was split, that wasn't right. Okay? The majority of things that I saw growing up was the things not to do. I've had to learn a lot of things the hard way. But guess what? That doesn't mean that I'm not accountable for my actions and how I had let the devil inside my home. Okay? If you want a confession session, I'd be more than willing to open up to you about my struggles. Okay? That is not a problem. I do my best to be obedient, and guess what? That's the hardest thing I can do, is be obedient. You know why? Because I'm in a country that is so blessed with so many distractions, and at times it is hard to let go of the things of the world. I'm just being transparent. So what do? I try to put myself into situations where I have to speak the truth. I have to defend the truth. Because if I'm busy defending the truth, trying to fight for the truth to come out, trying to reach more people, I will have less time to sin. Too many times we are busybodies. Too many times we are busybodies. Because we got too much time on our hands. And we focus on other people's issues instead of working on ourselves. It is so easy to gossip, which is also a sin. It is so easy to talk about other people and to minimize other people and to compare. The Bible says don't compare. Good deeds or bad deeds. Do not compare. What someone is going through you may think is small, that's big for them. The Bible calls us to bear one another's burdens. In the military, guess what? We bore one another's burdens. We created a chemistry. We created this kind of unity. Why? Because we all wanted to make it home just in case we got deployed. Unfortunately, we were never deployed. But I will tell you this, even just because we didn't deploy doesn't mean that we didn't have that bond. Why? Because we were like-minded when it came to the mission. Okay? We were brothers. It's hard to find that unity these days. Thing is, guys, we got to wake up. Okay? We have got to wake up. If you're someone that has been providing for your family because of laziness, change. If you're someone that hasn't been leading your household properly, you best change. If you're someone that doesn't know the Lord, I encourage you, please, as you are still alive, help me help you understand who the Lord is and understand how to be obedient. Help me help you. Because when I help you, you help me as well. Some serious stuff here. Your actions will have a domino effect. Whether it be good, whether it be bad. Okay? Whether it be good or bad, your actions will have a domino effect. Your children will see that. Your spouses will see that. Your friends will see that. Your coworkers will see that. We want so much change in our country, but are we being that change? Just asking. Just asking, guys. Just asking. So easy to criticize everybody else for doing wrong and for not acting right. Excuse me. Or what are we doing? And I've made that mistake before, because I'm outnumbered all the time. Okay, in the church, outside of the church, I'm outnumbered all of the time. And sometimes it got to a point where I was so focused on everybody else's issue that I started thinking of myself higher than I ought. And guess what? I started falling into sin easily. Just gonna be real, guys. Point out the wrong, absolutely. But don't spend all your time, oh, well, I don't have the support and these people are against me. So many people spend hours talking about that. If you're a true seeker, you're always going to be outnumbered. But that's why you find the ones who are also true seekers, who care about your soul and who care about your physical well-being, so you can lean on them for support. I'd rather have 2 people that I can lean on for support that are true seekers than I have 100 people that are fake and that are compromised. It's the truth, guys. It's the truth. I love my country. I love the home. We need to get back to doing things God's way. And let me tell you, if you want to understand the scriptures, I can help you understand the scriptures, and not only help you understand it, but also show you the deceit and the manipulation and the lies that are out there and how they contradict scripture. I study my enemy. I study my enemy all the time. I know how my enemy works, whether it's in the church or out of the church. I know how they traffic children. I know how Big Pharma operates. I know how the military operates. I know how law enforcement operates. I know it. I know how the education system operates. I know the history of it. You cannot defeat something that you do not know. You can't. You simply can't. And I hope this is really opening up your eyes. I really do. We have got to pursue truth. We have to. We have to. We have to. At the end of our lives, will we say, "Oh, we're so thankful we were ignorant," or will we wish, "Oh man, I wish I would have sought truth more"? I'd really hope it'd be that you don't have to say, "Oh, I wish I sought truth more." I hope that today you choose to pursue truth. Guys, life is too short. Don't let it slip through your fingers. Don't. Life is way too short, guys. Eternity is long. Eternity is long. Whoopsie. You are kidding. My goodness. So, does anybody, I'm not sure who's all viewing, but does anybody have any questions about anything I've said? Or maybe you have a question about something else that I haven't hit on tonight. If you do have any questions, please shoot. Please, please, please. But yeah, guys. How are you preparing for Agenda 2030? Are you going to bend the knee and comply? Are you going to fight against it? What are you going to do? Especially if you live in America. We have guns, we've got ammunition, we've got gear that other countries' citizens don't have access to, and yet we seem to do the least amount. It's kind of like this. Other countries do the most with the least amount, and we do the least with the most amount. Like, that trips me out all of the time. That trips me out. We got to really start thinking about this stuff, guys. We really do. We really do. We really do. And I just hope that with the things I'm saying, you will take the time to look at my podcast and look into the evidence I provide. Like, this stuff goes deep, guys. Okay? This stuff goes deep. I might try to do a video where I might be able to share some of the sources, but they're on my podcast. They are on my podcast. Come on. So, I care about your soul, guys. Please understand that. And I want to help you break away from the confusion and the deception and the manipulation that our world is so blinded to and has succumbed to. Oh, this is a nice little cabin. My next episode is going to be about data centers.
And that one's going to be, let's just say this. Virginia has more data centers than Texas. And Virginia's way smaller. Many of these communities are being just run over like you wouldn't believe because of these corporations. The people need to fight back and stop allowing these data centers to go up. They're not only destroying agricultural land, but they're destroying communities. Yeah, they may make some jobs, but not. Texas just approved one that was whatchamacallit, $2.1 billion or something like that. Something with I believe it was $2.1 billion. And guess what? When you look at how many jobs it's going to create, I think it said like 37. Like, really? You see, Austin was supposed to have all these tech jobs. And I can't tell you how many videos I've seen where many of these big tech companies laid off so many of these people. But wasn't just like a year or two ago, it was all about coding and all this stuff and cybersecurity? Why are they letting so many people go? Like, these AI centers, or these data centers, it's all preparing us for Agenda 2030. These data centers play a big part into that. You know why? Because it stores your data. Stores your data. And you think, you know, oh, the government and everything stores our data now. No. If everything goes digital and you succumb to it, your ID could be erased at any time. Your funds could be frozen. You won't be able to access banks. You won't be able to travel. They're already talking about having checkpoints. And many of the games, such as what is it called? Wild Dogs or something like that? London, the Legion one. They have checkpoints all throughout London. Like, this stuff isn't a joke. This stuff isn't funny. Like, this is some real stuff. This is some real stuff right here. Yet so many people are oblivious to it. So if I were you, I'd get out of the city. If I were you, I'd get land far away. Will it be hard to live? Absolutely. But you can do it. I know you can. Okay? I live in rural America. But guess what? I'm still 35, 40 minutes from the city. And the city has actually extended over here. And is destroying a bunch of land that we're on. And they're corrupting the water. So guys, this isn't fun and games anymore. This is serious. If you care about your life, and you care about your family, I'd heed the warnings that I'm giving everybody. You think I say this because I want to? You think I'm saying it just for clicks and likes? No, I'm censored over this. People have threatened to kill me over this information that I'm giving to you. Like, guys, like, we are not free, guys. We are not free. Okay? When people like me, who don't have many followers on any social media platform, start saying this stuff and I'm censored, they banned me on TikTok because I created a new account, but weeks later, but they banned me on TikTok and I had like 150 followers within 2 weeks. Like, I was moving up. I was moving. I was hauling. Uh-oh, there's a glitch. So, like, my own brethren did not support me. Very few did. And the very few that did, they weren't really outspoken about it. There was one lady in a different state that was outspoken about it. That was a part of that. That's my brethren. Aside from her, I can't really think of who else. When I was attending a congregation in Washington, because that's where I was stationed in the military, and I talk about some of this stuff. Not I didn't have a podcast at the time, but the people there that supported me, they whispered it to me. They didn't let really anybody else know that they supported me. That was like one of the biggest slaps in the face. And it's a shame. It truly is. Truly is. I need truth seekers. I do. I need people who are serious about seeking truth. Let me ask you, how much is the truth to you? Is it your life? Because if it's not your life, I can't trust you. If you are willing to compromise the truth for a false sense of security, I can't trust you. I can't trust you. And you shouldn't trust me either. But here's the deal. I don't compromise the truth. In fact, that's the reason why I'm struggling financially, is because I will not compromise when it comes to truth and when it comes to my morals. You look at, so I have a background in HVAC, okay? I had to get out of the industry because of my physical issues, but also because I would not rip off customers. I would not, try to put the fear of God into them. I would not. Honest work doesn't pay that much. And that's okay. That's okay. But I will tell you this. You can't buy a clear conscience. You cannot, under any circumstances, purchase a clear conscience. No way, Jose. No way, Jose. So, I really hope that this stream has helped. I really hope that those who are listening, I really hope that that this has been beneficial. I really hope y'all take it. Once again, I cannot emphasize this enough. Please follow me, subscribe to my YouTube channel as well, and also please follow me on my podcast side at Real Anthony Kane. And then follow me on Spotify, where my podcast is at, on the Christian Constitutionalist Podcast. We need the truth to get out there, and I need as much support as I can possibly get. Please, everyone, please do that for me, and that would be much appreciated. If you're able to donate and help me financially, that'd be great. This stuff costs money. It takes a lot of time to do this, and there's a lot of people that are being funded by everyday folks, and they have an agenda, and they don't care about, informing you of the whole truth. They are being paid to only say partial. So I will let you know what I know. Okay? I'll do these streams. I'm doing the podcast episodes. So I care about truth, and I care about people knowing it. And with your financial help, as well as the following and the subscribing and all that, and the sharing especially, that would really help. If you cannot support me financially, I encourage you to pray for me, and to pray that that the Lord will provide, and that I will continue defending the truth, and that the Lord will deliver me from evil. So alright, guys. Well, thank you so much for your time. I gotta get up at the butt crack of dawn tomorrow. Thank you so much. God bless. And if you have any questions, please hit me up on my social media, on either. And at Cryptics Kane X or Real Anthony Kane. And I will get back in touch with you. So, everybody, you'll have a great night, and I'll see you later.